We look to the heavens for hope, guidance in a world of uncertainty. Within our universe, a mighty star shines bright over us and reflects itself to enlighten our darkness. It is from that star that our very molecules are born, boundless and bright. That mighty star commands a universe of stars that bear witness to our history and are attached to our ideas of the future. In these stars, we find our beginnings. In these stars, we learn of our endings.
Welcome back to In the Stars with Dwayne. I'm your host, Dwayne Dunleavy, and today I'm so excited because we have a guest. She is returning to In the Stars with Dwayne for her second visit. We have Stacey, the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome, Stacey. How are you?
Hi, Dwayne. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. Now, if you didn't see the episode that Stacey was on with us last time, and you don't know anything about her, we have a little clip to show you to give you a little bit of background information. Let's take a look at the clip. Here again with us, Stacey. We had such a great time last time, and you and I are so compatible. I'm a Sagittarius, you're a Virgo. We can actually talk without talking, but that wouldn't work on this kind of thing, right?
But you're right. I do love me my Sages.
So I mean, it's an interesting time of year. We're halfway between, the beginning and end of 2023. We've just come out of Gemini. We're in Cancer, which is, it's an emotional time for everybody. It's a time where things are kind of like the waves in the ocean, that water sign kind of thing. Now you do a lot of different things. Tell us a little bit about what you do and where your focus is.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I'm all about transformation.
Mhm.
We are all in this ever changing, ever shifting, ever evolving world. And so many people are just kind of like mind exploding and where do I look first? And like you said, that ocean, I call it the ocean of emotion. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes we want the ocean of emotion to be nice and smooth like glass, but quite honestly, it's been a shit show for quite some time
Yeah.
and people are really struggling. So what I really love to do and what I'm passionate about is helping people through those transformations. And I do
Yeah.
that through the spidey senses, doing readings for you. I love using tarot cards. I
Hmm.
am a novice at best when it comes to astrology. I know the basics, but I definitely love connecting and tying that all in because when we're looking at the wholeness of ourselves, you want every tool in your toolkit to be able to access. And astrology and the tarot and the crystals and the all of the guidance, the intuition, throw it all in a bag and I'm ready to go. Take it with me.
Yeah, like you said, it's been a shit show, and people are kind of like reaching and grabbing for like what's going to happen next. What am I in for? And I like to tell people not to base their lives on astrology or tarot or any of that kind of stuff, but to kind of allow it to help you to explore yourself and what's going on around you. Now, like you said, you are really well versed in tarot, and it's kind of like I'm the opposite. I am really pretty well versed in astrology, and I'm kind of a novice at tarot. But I really do love it too, and I do think there is definitely a connection there. I mean, thousands of years, a lot of thought and effort has gone into it, but there's also a scientific aspect to it. For those of you who may not have any kind of understanding of astrology or tarot. For thousands of years, the movement of the Earth, the movement of the planets, has affected our lives on a daily basis, just physically. Um, recently I heard a great podcast about how the tides in the ocean work and how the currents work. And all of that is based on the movement of the moon and the planets. They even mentioned how the oceans, if you look at the planet from far away, the oceans bow out at the sides because of the moon's movement around, and then the way that the Earth rotates. And I thought, that is exactly what I'm always trying to explain to people about astrology, is that you may think it's this totally esoteric kind of thing, but if you think about it, we are made of water. Our the womb that we are developed in is a sack of water, and then when
Yeah.
we're born, we're on a planet that's almost all water.
Ah,
So all of that water has to be affected the same way. I mean, it's not going to be different for the development of your brain and your spinal cord than it is for a river or an ocean. So there has to be some type of scientific connection. But then when you go beyond that and you look at what humanity has come up with to kind of decipher those things, we have astrology and tarot. So, how did you find tarot? Did you just start playing with it and then you started studying it? And
Wow, that's a loaded question. Well, first of all, I want to just touch on what you're saying. I
yeah.
totally agree. And we're totally on the same page, because when you were talking about the ocean, moving around and up and down earlier, I was thinking about, I do every month a new moon spread. It's called New Moon Musings. And so I
Mhm.
follow the cycle of the moon, and I pull it's a 9 card spread that I do. Check out not my website, my YouTube channel. You can watch it. It's free for everybody. And for my personal one that I do a general one and then I do a personal one. My personal one, I had, of those 9 cards, I had 7 water cards. And I
Wow.
was, oh my God, like, okay, yes, it's Cancer season, but I don't always do well in the water signs. Like we were talking about earlier, I'm a Virgo sun, but
Uh-huh.
I'm a Gemini moon and a Libra rising, and I have so much air everywhere that whenever the water comes up, I'm like, emotions? Oh my God, no, like,
No.
just stop, right? So I just wanted to comment on that. But to get back to your question, um, I have always been fascinated by tarot, and my background, when I was kind of born into a bit of a chaotic family, and lots of chaos, but also very religious, and
Yeah.
religious to the point where tarot is the devil, right?
Mhm.
Soothsayers and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm just, my whole family is like, oh my God, we're ashamed of you, because you don't fit into anything that we believe in. But my first experience, I want to say, with my own tarot card, I was 18. I had, flown the coop. I was in university. I'm Canadian, so college, university, same thing. And a group of us were going for a walk after class, and we ran into this great metaphysical shop. And right away, I'm like, ooh, but I
Mm.
still fear, like, oh my God, like, somebody's going to strike me down for walking into the store. But I picked up my very first tarot deck, and I picked up my very first oracle deck. And it was a traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck.
Mhm.
And the oracle deck, actually, I just pulled it out the other day. It's this really cool, you can't get it anymore. It's like a gypsy tarot, or sorry, a
Mm.
gypsy fortune telling oracle deck. And of course, gypsy is now a taboo word. You're not supposed to use it. So I have that background. I have Romanian in my blood. So I just kind of reclaim it. But
So Romanian American is now.
yeah, like, there's like, okay, like, I know where my heart is at. I'm going to do my best to be politically correct. And sometimes it just is what it is. So when I got this deck, I brought it home, and I'm the kind of person that I go and I buy clothes and I wear them out of the store. I get the people to cut the tags
Yeah.
off because I'm freaking excited about the
I'm the
news.
same way. I'm the same way.
I sat on that tarot deck for 3 weeks, and I was looking at it and I was touching it, but I was afraid of it.
Yeah.
And it took me 3 weeks before I was like, okay, if the sky is gonna open up and kill me now, so be it. And from the moment I opened that deck up, it was like, I don't know, it was like I'd kind of come home. But it took me a while. it took me years actually to really be able to read the tarot, because I am so air sign and so in my head
Yeah.
that I was focused on the system of divination. So I was really focused on trying to memorize all the 57,000 freaking keywords on every card. And the images just didn't resonate with me. They didn't connect. So, fast forward, I don't even know how many years, probably 10, 12 years later, I started to learn how to read the cards intuitively, because I chose a completely different deck with imagery that really spoke to me and to me and that kind of thing. So my journey's been kind of all over the place. But once I clued into that whole intuitive process, the rest of it fell into place. And I do now know the actual system of tarot. I do know the traditional meanings and all the rest of it, but I also really prefer to read tarot very intuitively. I'm creating a membership called Tarot Intuitively. Actually, learn tarot the fun way. So it's really cool that we're doing all this, because it's very much in my now, in the energy. So
Yeah, and actually that's where I was too, because I used to do readings just based on energy. I didn't use astrology or tarot or anything, because I would get messages, and I attribute it to people who have passed on, energies that are lingering after people are gone, and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting how, people don't realize, but you can really connect in so many different ways, and each person's experience is completely different. Now, I like what you said earlier. I come across that all the time. People who are Catholic or whatever religion, and they think that if a friend says, "Oh, he does readings, he does tarot readings or astrology," they're like, "Oh, no, 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 I'm religious. I don't do that." Like it's the
right.
devil. So, but I totally respect that. I will never push anybody, because there's no
Right to their
point.
own speech.
You guys hear
100%.
me?
Yeah, but I do actually
Yeah, I
make
hear you.
sure. What's
Oh,
that?
I've been trying to cut in. I was like, can y'all hear me? I know since
Yeah.
Stacey gives me a lot more leeway when I produce her show. I get to come on camera and be a fool. Dwayne, I'm like behind the scenes. But you know what? So kind of two things to what you guys were talking about. I love how Stacey is intuitive about it, because I remember one time I was telling my friend, like, I need to eat more vegetables. And I've never talked to Stacey about it. And one day I was on her show and I just happened to say, "Can I get a reading?" And she pulled out a card. It was a card I remember. I don't remember what card it was, but there was a guy on that had a lot of coins on it. And she
Oh,
said,
sure.
"This card is showing me finances and all of that. But what I'm paying attention to is the foliage. There's a lot of foliage in this card, and you need to eat more vegetables." I was like, "What the?" Now, people might say, well, you could say that to anybody. Yeah, she could have any day of the week, but she chose that day to tell me after I
Right.
had it in my mind so much. And the second
It's not
comment I wanted to make
that
was,
comes through with guidance either. So it's just so
yeah,
random.
the second point that I wanted to make is, in defense of a lot of people, is there's too much hokey pokey stuff out there, right?
Mhm.
So that's what we have to go on. Like before I met you and Stacey, I thought what a lot of people think when they pull the devil card or death card, because you see it in the movies. Oh,
Yeah.
the death card, the calamity is about to happen. You're gonna die, and so it's just like with everything. If you educate yourself into what this stuff actually means, and you find someone like a Stacy or Dwayne that's going to give you the fruitfulness, and not just somebody who set up a shop and trying to take your money. And I
Mhm.
think that's what most people have experienced. The guy with the psychic house that just goes, "I can sense your dead relative speaking to you." You know.
Yeah. No, I get it, and I really believe that the tarot cards, the information about astrology, those are all just tools. We all have the capacity to feel energies and understand what's happening. So anybody can really focus on that, and I think that's what these tools do. If it's even like tea leaves or chicken bones, there's all these different things that people use. It's just a way of focusing your energy and really calming your mind so that you can feel what's already coming through. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing. I don't think that was my major problem in the beginning, was like, how can cards that somebody drew or printed or whatever, it's not the power comes from the cards, the power
Right.
comes from the person, right?
Exactly.
So
And that's one of the things that I try to convey to any clients that I'm working to sort of teach the tarot, is it's
mhm,
understanding that yes, the card itself has been assigned over thousands of years, of you, as you've said, has been assigned a particular meaning or grouping of meanings. But, when I look at the color green, I might have a negative association to that color green, but you look at green and you say, oh my God, that's my favorite color. It makes me so happy. And it makes me think of, lush grass. And it makes me think of, wonderful scents or, things that I cook with, since we're talking about vegetables, right? So it's really about when you're receiving a message and you're using the tarot as a tool, it's understanding I'm not necessarily going to get the same thing that everybody else gets. It doesn't mean that the information is wrong. It actually means that it's being filtered through my own experience, my own understanding. And it is about that feeling association, whether you're receiving the message for yourself or you're delivering that message to someone else. That's that intuitive piece. And that's why the tool is so important, because it's really that. It's a tool. It's not going to tell you how to live your life, but it's definitely going to help you to access that sacred flow of the inner wisdom.
Yeah, that we all have. And you can actually customize it. Everybody can customize to themselves. Even I'm a comedian, and what I do in my shows a lot of times is something that I came up with based on astrology called astrology, where I look at your ass and tell your future. And
Oh my God, Dwayne, that's great.
Oh my God! Wait, do that again, Chili Willy. I'm gonna put you on. Chili, do that. Wait, do that again. Hold on. Chili Willy's waiting in the background to come on. And when you said that, he put his ass on the screen.
I see a bright future, Chili.
Thank you so much. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. I think half of your life is going to be well-rounded, and the other half also well-rounded, and everything in between is for everybody.
I'm done. That's all I needed today.
Oh, you had a couple of questions. But you're good to go now?
I'm definitely in company. We've now gone into the dirty territory. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you're not extra hairy, so you have a smooth future too.
It's very bright.
Bright and smooth.
Oh my God. So, Will, did you have a question, or do you want to just come back for the reading part?
I love listening. I could go either way. I do want to point out, Stacey, you had said something in the reading that we had together when I was on last, and it had to do with you sensing resistance on my end for some changes that were kind of en route or, yet to come. And I hung on to that, and it humbled me for the rest of that day. And it makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Within about an hour or so after that reading, a big change came down the pipe, and I felt like I was glowing when I was on the phone with a certain person that's in my life. And I thought of what you said, and then I thought of Keone's reactions to our reading, and I was like, this is it. This is that change, and I can't be resistant. So I kind of went against what I was feeling initially, which is resistance. Like I'm a little stubborn, and even more so at times. And then without your reading that day, without Keone getting me involved in that, I didn't know what I was signing in for. I just clicked on the link and figured, all right, let's see what we're going to talk about. That was a life-changing moment, and it still is. Like it involves the business that I'm in, some alterations with relationships that I've had for over 20 years, deeply rooted in who I am today and who I've been over the course of my life. And the changes are good, but I don't know if I would have looked at them that way or accepted them as a good change if I hadn't received your message and been invited at that very moment. I'm pretty sure I would have defaulted back to my initial response of change, which is always resist it. And, and put up a wall, and then nothing good happens after that. Usually, it's just a defense mechanism that I hang on to. But now after getting my cheeks red as well,
was that life-changing also?
I think a lot's changing. I feel different in the chair already.
Yeah. Well, so Stacey made the hair on the back of your neck stand up. What did I do?
There's some peach fuzz that's now standing too.
Look,
Well-
Stacey was not prepared. So this is how it rolls on this show, Stacey. So if you ever want to come back, that's what you're getting.
It's the whiskey.
My happy place right now. I love it.
Yeah, this is right up her alley. So we'll bring you back on when we do horoscopes and readings. All right. Thank you
Cool.
for that. Giving us a follow up on what
Thank
Stacey.
you.
I appreciate that. And, anyone who's watching, it's not me, it's what comes through me. And you were answering the call of your soul in that moment. And there was synchronicity that occurred to bring you into that moment. And I'm honored to have been the conduit for that. Or the catalyst for that. So thank you for sharing
Very
that.
cool.
All right.
So I think it's interesting, isn't it?
See you in a minute.
Isn't it interesting? I think even without astrology or tarot, we as humans, I think, have our nature is to want to connect with another human being and say, what do you think? I'm not going to tell you anything. Just tell me, what do you think? And people who have never even studied astrology or tarot can sit there and actually feel things and give people information. So when you're someone like Stacey, who has actually gone and done a lot of research and experience and all of that, and you add that to that natural flow, I think that's why it becomes so powerful. But I do believe that everybody has that innate ability. They just don't focus on it or grow it or cultivate it in any way. And we also all have that innate need to know, what do you think? You know what I mean? So it's interesting how it all works. And I try to always, I don't know if you do this, but I know a lot of people who do readings do. I'm always asking whatever it is, the universe, God, the energy, to give me good information. I want positive information. These people who get scared, you're going to tell them that they're going to die, or, something's going to happen. I only get good and positive information. So I always do that when I'm doing a reading. I ask my guides to only give me good, positive information, and it always works out. I've never, ever had the feeling like, oh, someone's going to get hit by a bus or, something. I've never had that. So do you feel that way too?
Oh yeah, intention is the key, and you need to I always say when I'm connecting with clients, okay, close your eyes, connect with your breath. We're going to set the tone for your session. And it is about what my thing is: divine spirit, powers that be in the universe. I'm missing something in there. Now I can't even think of it because I'm in a different mode right now, but I say, I want to know what is for the highest and best. Give us clarity, guidance, direction, and support for this person's highest and best, and most advisable for them to know now. And to say that with love and gratitude. It's so funny, I can't say it right now. I have said it. I was thinking the other day, I've probably said it like 5,000 times, literally, over the course of this past, I don't know, like 4 years, because you say it with every client when you're opening up. Yeah, it's so important to really set the tone. And I do get that a lot with certain clients. They're like, okay, you're giving me a lot of positive guidance, or you're giving me a lot of good stuff. Is there anything bad in the mix? And I'm like, listen, it's not about the good and the bad. I believe that the information that needs to come through for you, it needs to be practical. You need to be able to, it doesn't serve you any good to know, okay, you're going to die 4.5 years from now. That's not serving your purpose. It's how can I make my life better now? What's going on in my now? What do I need to know? And how can I make it better? If I give you information that comes through, we don't always get what we want, but we get what we need. If I'm giving you something and you say, well, I don't want that to happen, awesome. Make a different choice.
Right.
That's what it's about. It's not all about I predict this singular path and you're going to die at such and such and this horrible thing. And at the time, sometimes we set the intention and there is news that we have to deliver that can be a bit uncomfortable to deliver it. But why is it coming through? Because that person has the opportunity to either prepare themselves so they're not completely blindsided, or it gives them the opportunity to say, okay, if this is going to happen, how do I want to approach it? Or can I make some shifts in my choices, in my life, in my path, to go a different route, because we all have the free will and we're all co-creators.
Yeah, well, I had a reading about 10 years ago that changed my life because it really explained a lot. This woman told me that I was a Puerto Rican prostitute in a past life. My name was Maria Conchita Felipe Gonzalez de la Cruz Vajero Figueroa Sanchez. And it really explained a lot about my life. And um, so it's interesting the things you can find out in readings that you never thought you would hear, you know?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Stacey. I mean, we could go on for hours, but
But
it
you
was
are. No, I'm just kidding. You're not
yeah.
hours. But
This is a 4-hour show sponsored by Metamucil.
what we do have for those of you who are watching, such as Janet BC, and I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. Thank you. We have Terry Ferguson who's on here watching.
Oh,
We have Willie who's on here live. So what we're going to do is something special. Those of you who have been on Dwayne's, you know we mostly do horoscopes. And we'll do some tarot readings. And those of you
mhm.
who have watched Stacey, you know she gets guidance and she pulls tarot and oracle cards. So what we're going to do special today is we're going to give each one of you a horoscope reading, and we're going to do a card reading. So what we'll do is we'll start with Will since he's on here live,
Yeah,
and then we'll go to Janet and then to Terry. So let's get
awesome.
Will back
Well,
in.
this is a surprise. I love it.
Yeah. So Will, first thing you got to do is you got to tell us your birthday, and then Wayne's going to start with you, and we'll go from there.
My birth date is April 8th, 1983.
All right.
Boo!
You're an Aries. All right. So you're ruled by the head. Do you get headaches ever?
Yeah.
Okay, headaches are for an Aries are a sign that things may be out of balance. Sometimes it can be diet, sometimes it can be work, whatever it is. So take a look in that area, and when you hit on it, your headaches will slowly go away. The color red is your power color, and the planet Mars. You may find that sometimes I like to say to Aries, and you seem like a very nice person, and most of the Aries that I know do. But you have a militaristic, usually Aries. They rule military, they rule war, and things like that. So there's probably a side of you where it's like if someone shows that they're not on your team, they are on the opposing team, and they must be destroyed. Right? Also, you may find yourself getting frustrated sometimes easily. You may want to do a lot of different things and have a lot of things in your head, but when it comes down to following through on them, it can sometimes be arduous because it can get boring, or you can get off of the desire to do it quicker than you get it done. So that's an Aries thing. Right now, in this Cancer time that we're in, you might be feeling the ups and downs that Stacey and I were talking about, emotional ups and downs, things that make you kind of like in any other time wouldn't be as impactful emotionally. But when we get through that and we get into Leo, so right now in the next 3 weeks or so, you're going to have that little bit of up and down. When we get into Leo, you're going to start to see that it's kind of like party time. And all of that stuff that's stuck up in your head, it comes down to the lower base parts of the body and it goes out. So that's something to look forward to. And just keep in mind that, 3 weeks about or so, and depending on moon fluctuations and comets and things like that, you may have little things happening here and there or feelings that come through. The other thing for Aries is, do you have a romantic relationship right now?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And what is that person's sign or birthday? Do you know?
That would be July 21st.
Ah, Leo. Okay. So it's a Cancer Leo cusp. So that's somebody who is most likely very self-aware, very self-focused, not necessarily in a bad way, but the Leos can be very self-focused, but with that edge of Cancer, which is mothering, family-oriented, which is usually Cancers are like the person in the family, the hub that everybody goes to complain, to say good thing, all of that kind of stuff. So this person has the best of both worlds. Someone who is self aware, self confident, but also is very family oriented and very important in their family. And so
Very
for
active.
you, yeah, so for you, that is very exciting, because those are two things that probably really affect you. You like integrity. You like people who don't get don't just follow and don't just cut and do whatever other people tell them to do. So I think it's a really great match for you, and especially now over this next 3 weeks, you two will really have the opportunity to connect a lot. And then right after that, the 21st, right after that person's birthday, it's kind of like I feel a change may happen. You may feel a shift where you've become closer, and now we move on to this next level. So that's how I feel for you, Chili.
I'll sense that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So
I thought Stacey gave long readings. Holy Jesus!
real quick, the whole like war thing, that's normal.
Yes, that's very normal, and it's just something you should be aware of, because the only place it really hurts sometimes is in work, because a work colleague or somebody may show a sign, or do something that kind of says to you like, why are you doing this to me, or you're against me, or whatever, and you will immediately go into that mode of like, they are outside of me. So try in those situations to open that up and say, you know what, maybe they're really not focusing on trying to do something against me, but in fact I'm just like the ancillary, like damage, like not
So
meant to be.
Dwayne, I'm not allowed to wear the color red at work per
Really?
one of my
Where you
coworkers'
wear red
requests.
underwear.
Yeah, the underwear probably is the best way
Yeah,
to get up.
wear red underwear, because nobody can tell you can't.
Yeah.
Good idea. Just don't sag, okay? Let's
Yeah,
uh,
silent power, right?
yeah, let's get a card reading for Will, and then we'll send him on his way.
Cool,
All right.
cool. Thank you,
So
Dwayne.
when you
You're
were
welcome.
talking, I just wanted to pull this card out as well, because this is the Emperor card, which is your Aries card. So this is the tarot card that is associated with your sign. And to add to, I will give you a reading, but to add to what Dwayne was saying, the Emperor card is all about the divine masculine. It's all about owning your birthright. And this is very much about, I don't need permission to do whatever it is that I feel that I need or want to do. And the trick with the Emperor is, are you ruling from a place of benevolence, or are you ruling from a place of dictatorship? So a lot of what Dwayne was talking about, this is kind of how I see it in the tarot, through the tarot, is you're the Emperor. And also, just sort of, if you want to take a look at this card, on the bottom there's like the checkerboard. It's a red and black, but it's kind of like a checkerboard or a chessboard, and he's holding a chess pawn. Whenever I see a checkerboard or a chessboard in the tarot, I always associate it with the game of life. And the Emperor understands and is an observer of the game of life, and understands, I can choose to dive in and play in the game of life, or I recognize that it is a game and I can observe it and strategize, and I don't have to be a part of it. And I feel like, okay, now I'm getting the reading part for you. What I feel like for you in the next 3 weeks, what you sort of need to consider, what the universe wants you to consider, is understanding that you have the choice how you wish to engage with people, places, and things, how you wish to engage. And that's part of, sometimes you lose sight of that. You get caught up, everybody does, but you specifically, you get caught up in, well, this is the way it's always been done, or somebody's telling me to do this, or this just feels like it's going to be the simplest. I don't want to have to argue about this. I just want to get it done so I can move on to more fun things. What I'm hearing for you in the next 3 weeks is, understand that you don't want to throw spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, because that doesn't honor your inner power. You want to, if you're feeling stressed about something, or you got someone me in your ear about how to do something, take a step back, observe, go into that space of, it's going to get done. The question I want to ask myself is, how do I want this to get done? And what is the ultimate result? If that means that I'm going to do it differently than this person tells me to do it, as long as I get the desired result, that's all that matters. So owning your birthright, the Emperor doesn't have to ask for permission. The Emperor, the buck stops with him. So, owning your birthright, not asking for permission, and taking a step back and observing the game that you're often in. We get caught up and we forget that it's a game. We think that it's, oh my God, this is all there is, or oh my God, this is the only thing that matters. No, it doesn't. Take that step back. Own your emperor energy. So I was going to pull another card for you, but there you go. There's your reading.
Look, we need matching shirts. This is a dream team right here, you guys.
It is.
This is it.
It's true.
I'm gonna go. I'll find red underwear today. Okay, today I'll make that happen.
Do it.
The brightest red.
Appreciate you.
Should I get like?
Everybody
I can get probably Keone Productions across the back, maybe.
Oh, and the front. You should just get KP in the front, and then maybe it turns into Keone Productions.
Equal opportunity. Hey, so everybody watching, if you want to check Chili Willy out, he's very motivational. Go to @ChiliWilly. It's actually @Doing Shit with Chili Willy. His YouTube. He does very motivational videos. Really great guy. Again, I'll say it again, but remember also like and subscribe on In the Stars with Dwayne. And if you go on YouTube and go to @The Black Feather Intuitive, you can see a lot of Stacey's amazing work. Thank you, Will. We're going to go on to our
Thank you, guys. All right.
You're so welcome. I'll have to check you out on your channel. That's awesome.
I'm very so cool. Old. I'm thinking about the cartoon Chili Willy the Penguin. Did you
ever see
that?
Yeah.
Chili Willy the Penguin, I'm frozen through and through.
My nose is red and my tail is cold. Now all about the crocodiles along their winter Nile. I bet they're always warm as toast. They always seem to smile.
Wow.
Damn, I didn't know that much.
Through and through. My nose is red and my tail is cold. Ha, it's true. We are all. Thank you, Willie. All right. So Janet, one of Stacey's followers, I believe, she is a Gemini. So let's go ahead and give her a horoscope reading, and we're going to pull a card for her.
Welcome to both of you, Janet.
Welcome. I see what you did there. Dwayne, go ahead. Horoscope her up.
Oh, okay, sure, Janet. So you're a Gemini. Geminis are, of course, the twins. You're an air sign. So a lot of thought and analysis goes on in your head. You may find yourself overanalyzing things. You may find yourself analyzing things 2, 3, 4 different ways to give yourself different options. Commitment is something that might be for you something that is very, 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 very sacred. So you're not going to just commit to anything, even if you just like it or you love something. You really need to feel connected and feel like you've analyzed it and made it right in your own brain. Right now, you are probably in a really good space. Geminis in the time of Cancer are it kind of validates all of that analysis that goes on in your brain. It kind of makes you feel like, okay, I have this emotional stuff coming up. It gives me something to kind of process, something to focus on and process that's within yourself. Right now, what I've been telling Geminis over the last few weeks and the next few weeks is that self-care is really important, especially meditation. Those types of things, because you could probably analyze day and night. You could just sit and think and figure things out over and over and over again. So it's important for you to figure out where to make those breaks happen so that you don't extend your brain, because it can actually become it can get stuck on a cycle, especially for Geminis. You can get stuck on a cycle. You can ask yourself the same question over and over and try to get different answers. So I would say for you, the focus right now should be on self-care, mostly when it comes to your mental and thought process. When it comes to relationships right now, it's a high time for Geminis, but with little tiny bumps in the road over the next a couple of weeks, little tiny things that may happen that make you feel like, what, why is this, or why did this person say that, or why did this person do that, or why is this happening to me? And basically what it is it's the universe trying to keep you from going too fast and moving too far ahead on yourself. You may actually, one of the problems for Gemini is you may be 10 steps ahead when you need to be at the first step now. You need to take the step that you're at now and really fully understand it and make a decision rather than going 5, 10 steps ahead and focusing on that, because the first step is the most important. The second step is the next most important. You see, so you go to step 5, those 1, 2, 3, and 4 haven't been fully realized and haven't been fully worked out for you. So you may end up constantly feeling like, why does nothing ever feel like it's fully formed? So I would say my advice to you is to take notice of what's going on in your brain, take breaks, and even if it's multiple times a day. And by breaks, I don't mean by taking a break and having a drink or whatever. It's a mental break, meditation. There's actually something called I can't think of the name of it, but there is different sounds that you can make that will help your brain turn itself off from language and go into like a state of feeling. And that's what's going to really help you to grow. So, relationships good, everything's good, little bits here and there over the next few weeks. And then when we go into Leo, you're going to find there's so much opportunity for you, lots of opportunity coming at you at that time. So I would say get ready, start to work on your brain relaxation, because you're going to need it come the time of Leo.
Jesus, every time I have him do my horoscope, he does like 3 words. You'll be fine.
Yeah. It's going to rain.
All right. So before Stacey pulls a tarot to everyone, please make sure, if you want to get tarot reading, if you want sessions and to learn more about tarot and psychic guidance, you can go to the Black Feather Intuitive. Google it. Go to www.blackfeatherintuitive.com. Stacey offers different sessions, different types of programs, memberships. It's really good if you want to educate it yourself and get that knowledge on your own, because of course we can't do everything in a show. So get those private sessions, and then you can always hit up Dwayne in the comments to learn about when he's offering sessions. You can also catch Stacey every other week, Wednesday nights. Tonight is the night, 8 p.m. on the Black Feather Intuitive. And if you want to see who this voice from heaven is, you'll be able to see me on camera. All right. So let's get a card pull for Janet. And she loves your horoscope there, by the way, Dwayne.
Good. Thanks, Janet.
Awesome. Thanks, Keone, for that. So Jen, so nice to see you here. I'm really excited to be connecting with you. So I followed suit with what I did with Chili Willy. And your card as a Gemini is the Lover's card. And the Lover's card, a lot of times people don't really know what that's all about. They just automatically assume that it's connected to love and romantic partnership. But really what it is it's self-reflection. It's awareness of other in relation to self. How you see yourself through another person's eyes, how another person sees you through theirs. And so I'm feeling like in this sort of next 3-week window, what you need to consider, I want to say for your highest and best, is I want to say kind of paying attention to the people that are around you, the company that you're keeping. And this isn't because you're keeping bad company and you got to let everybody go. But I want to say to you, there are going to be a couple of instances in this next 3 weeks where you're going to question the topic of conversation. You're going to question how you're feeling with this particular individual. And it may be somebody that you've known for a really long time, that how you're feeling about them in that moment comes as a bit of a surprise. And it might be, it might be a one-off, or you might see them the next week and have the same kind of feeling. Be aware of that, because I feel like what's coming up for you in this sort of the 3-week window of time is there's a shift for you energetically in the people, places, and things that you are going to need to support you as you're moving forward. And you guys know I love to talk about the Phoenix and that transformational space. I feel like you're on the precipice of moving into a new transformational phase, a Phoenix phase. And as a result of that, it's because you're ascending. It's because your frequency is shifting and changing. You're really in a space where you're saying to the universe, I demand more for myself. I deserve more for myself. This is a good thing. This is boundaries. This is about you saying, gone are the days and the ways when I choose to settle, or when I just allow someone to speak to me in, some particular way. Or gone are the days and the ways when I spend time with individuals where I'm not getting anything in return. So there's also this energy of reciprocity. And I feel like that's what you're exploring. And you're going to notice it coming up in the next 3 weeks. And it's just going to be sort of observational. It's not like you have to take major steps and act now. It feels more like, wow, I'm noticing that some things are shifting when I'm in the company of particular other people. That's interesting. I need to pay attention to that. What does that mean? What is it showing me? Because you're getting ready to up level. And part of that up leveling is understanding that self-awareness piece, understanding what I needed then is very different from what I'm needing now. And I'm learning that. I'm on the journey of learning and understanding what is shifting. So be open to that in the next 3 weeks. So great to connect with you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome. These are amazing. And our last one for today is from Terry Ferguson. Could I get a horoscope reading if there's time? Of course, there's time. You guys didn't know we were doing 3, so you fit right in, and then we'll get a card for you. So her birthday, Dwayne, is, she put it in here early. Oh, wait. So she was a Gemini. I think hers was October 23rd.
So she's a Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's a water sign. Right now, you might be feeling validated by this Cancer time that we're in, this water period, emotional ups and downs. For the rest of us, for you, probably feels like, wow, the rest of the world's kind of coming along with me, getting on the wave with me. So you're in a really good place right now, Terry. If things seem like maybe a little bit frustrating at times, it seems to me the feeling I'm getting is it's something to do with passion, because Scorpios are all about passion. They will only focus on and really move forward. No one can get in the way of your passion. So if there's any kind of interference going on, I would say look at where your passion lies and are you fulfilling that? And if not, that's the path you need to get on, to how to fulfill that passion and how to make yourself feel like your life is what you want it to be. Romantically, there might be either, if there is a romantic partner, there may be times where that partner doesn't understand your need for to be alone sometimes. I know that every Scorpio I know at times kind of goes missing for 2-3 days. I like to imagine what a scorpion actually does in the desert. And if you ever seen a Scorpio, they have a little den and they back up into it and they keep that stinger ready for anybody going by that door who's trying to get to them. So that's something that you may need to explain to the people that mean something to you, that, when you leave them for a couple days or for small amounts of time, it's not them, it's you. It's you need to have that space to kind of like recharge and regather, because you are so emotional. You are so sensitive to everything around you. You guys get a bad rap, the Scorpios. You often get that, oh, they're evil and they're mean and whatever. They're really not. That you really have to go pretty far to get that stinger to get you. You really have to get them into that character of themselves. So Scorpions are, I think, one of the best signs, because they are just no bullshit. They will tell you if they don't like something, they'll tell you if they do like something, and they will not just shy away from anything. So I think it sounds like right now you have a great time. When we go into Leo, you may be feeling a little pressured. This could come from work, it could come from family, what have you. And that may actually enhance that need for alone time. So just keep in mind that the people that are closest to you are really, really just need to know why you're doing it and that it's not them, so that they don't feel like they're doing something to make you not want to be around them. When it comes to work, if you're looking to leave that job and totally, get something new, again, just focus on your passion and really take some time with yourself in those alone times and say, what would really make me happy? Not what would make my family happy, not what was my degree or what any of this. It's right now. You're a different person than you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Think about now and move forward from that point. And good luck.
Janet says, yep, because I'm planning on finally leaving that job that I asked about my reading with you in the past. This is spot on. So I guess she asked about it, Stacey, on Stacey's show, 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern. In the past about a show. So listen, and this is the thing that I love. Dwayne and Stacey have not had a pre-production meeting. They haven't talked today. He forgot she was even coming on. She forgot she was coming on. So
it's coming on.
Yeah, so that's why.
Although we are workshopping a new show called The Black Feather Intuitive and the White Sausage. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. So, but what I'm saying, I love that this is all natural, and Dwayne's talking about stuff that he has no idea you talked to Stacey about.
No,
I didn't know you were going to be on here and asking questions, so I love this. Stacey, let's get a card for her, and then we're going to wrap up.
Yeah. So Terry, so nice to see you as well. Following suit, your card as the Scorpio is the Death card, and the card deck that I'm using is the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann, and it is literally my absolute favorite depiction of the Death card because, as Dwayne was saying, you guys get a bad rap, but really you're the Phoenix. You embrace death because you understand that without death, there is no rebirth. You're all about that cycle and reinventing yourself. So, what do you need to know in this next 3-week period of time? And when we're talking about sort of Cancer season, what I'm getting for you, so we're seeing a lot of the red in this card, and we're seeing the red hooded figure of the Grim Reaper, but inside the hood, the face is the sunshine and daisies, the wine and roses that is coming up for you. And in order for you to be able to embrace that and step into that, it's about releasing the old and not being afraid to release the old, because you're going to understand that the new is coming into the mix. So I'm drawn to the red for you in the next 3 weeks. I feel like red is significant because not only is it about grounding, but it's also about power for you. And this next 3 weeks, I keep hearing you're going to need to push through something. And what I'm feeling into is you're going to need to push through your own fear around something. This is something that is significant to you, but not something that is in your purview right now. So it's going to be showing up very, very soon. And it's not, I want to say it's something that's a bit unexpected for you. There are a lot of things going on that you're like, yeah, I'm pushing through the fear on this and I'm pushing through the fear on that. Or I don't have any fear about that. I know everything's going to work out. This is something that's unexpected. This is something that's going to take you a little bit by surprise. And you're going to go, I didn't even know I was afraid of that. I didn't even know that was an issue that was coming up for me. And I'm hearing push through the fear, because on the other side of the fear, there is inspiration as well as an actionable path to take to manifest that particular inspiration. And I'm hearing things happening for you really instantly. So you want to pay attention in the next 3 weeks as well. Pay attention to your thoughts. We always need to pay attention to our thoughts, but this next 3 weeks, really pay attention to your thoughts, because what I keep hearing is you are manifesting so much more quickly during this particular period of time than you normally do. And that means the negative thought shows up instantly, the same as the positive thought is going to show up. So your guides are kind of indicating to you right now, making that the focus. So before you roll out of bed in the morning, every single morning, just set a little intention that your thoughts remain high and bright, that your thoughts remain connected to the goal, to the, I want to say, to the abundance piece that you're working towards. Because I feel like fear can so easily creep in and just like hang on to you for dear life right now. It's situational. It is not something that is, that you have to be like, oh my God, this is my whole life. It's not like that. But what is significant for you right now is you're on the precipice of really making some huge changes. But the process to get there, it's got to be intentional and it's going to go quickly. So, I always like to say, go big or go home. You want to go big or go home with your thoughts. You want to go big or go home with pushing through the fear. You want to go big or go home around what you are manifesting, what you are visualizing for yourself, because it's all going to happen. So if I love that question. If you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that whatever you set out to do was going to be successful, how would that change your approach to what was showing up in your now? That's what you want to focus on, because the success is inevitable, but the success can go either way. It's going to be successful regardless of what that thought is. It's going to be successful. So be intentional about forming your thoughts and your energy around that. So thanks so much for coming on. I hope that makes some sense. And one final thing, 13, death is the 13. When we break it down numerologically, it's a 4, it's foundation. So I do feel that this particular phoenix, this particular transformation that you're moving into is going to be foundational. It's something that you're going to be able to say, all right, I can build on this. It's not topsy-turvy. It's once it's happened, once I'm there, all right, I'm good to go.
Awesome. I love that. And everybody, again, I just want to reiterate, if you're really interested in getting guidance and hearing about guidance and phrases of the day and all of these beautiful motivational things, catch Stacey at the Black Feather Intuitive bi-weekly on Wednesdays. Tonight is the last one of June. And you can also hear her put out a lot of more things that she's offering on that channel. And Dwayne, last Wednesday of every month is his live. So you can come on here live to get your horoscope and all the messages that he gives out today. 2 wonderful, wonderful people who are just here to motivate others. And let's everybody give our last opinion or thoughts to people on how they can better direct themselves into getting this information. Besides, we know, coming to see you two guys, because you're the standard. And so I'll start because I have the least experience, but I'm speaking as a person who seeks this knowledge, right? I have learned from dealing with Dwayne and Stacey and others that if I'm going to ask for guidance or anything, anyone who comes off wanting to tell me guidance on my health or dead relatives and messages, I stay away from. I don't even care if it's real. It's just that's not that puts up too many flags for me. If I have cancer, I don't want to ask you my cancer questions to a psychic, right? I want to deal with what can I do to make myself better as a person? What do these feelings I have mean? And things like that. So I always say this. Sometimes we don't get the right guidance because we don't ask the right question. So always think of the question you're asking before you seek the guidance. I'll go to you, Dwayne, and then we'll go to our wonderful guest, Stacey, and then Dwayne, you'll close us out. Go ahead.
Yeah, my best advice to everybody is to stay connected to yourself, stay connected to the universe, and just keep an eye out for everything that's going on around you, because we're all connected and everything is connected. So you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I'm just going to piggyback on that. There are a few things I could say, but it's really about the remaining open. As I was saying earlier, we don't always get the guidance that we want, but we're always going to get the guidance that we need. Your guides are going to be very clear and very direct when you're coming to someone like us for guidance, but they're also out there giving you the synchronicity. They're also out there giving you all sorts of signs and I want to say be discerning between your ego voice and your inner guidance. It really, like Dwayne said, it really comes down to being connected with yourself. And in order to be connected with yourself, you need to be open to what shows up. You can't control it all. You can't micromanage the universe. Well, you can, but it's not going to serve you. So be open and say, what that's in my space right now, what is this trying to show me? What does this have to teach me? It's not about, I didn't want to hear that and I don't believe in it's a bunch of bunk. It's, what is this teaching me? And how do I feel about it? And using your discernment where that's concerned. That's what I got.
Thank you so much, Stacey, for being on again. And I look forward to the next time you can join us. And thank you to my great producer, Keone Stevens. I like to call him the Black Andy Cohen. And I am your host for In Stars with Dwayne Dunleavy. And stay connected to the
Hold
universe,
on,
and keep
sorry,
looking up.
we did that really fast. I know I've been saying it a lot, but Stacey, if you could just run down some of the services that you offer on your website for the people who have never seen your channel. Go ahead and do that for me. Sorry about that.
Sure. 30 and 60-minute readings where we tune in and get you clarity. I channel a number of different guides and archangels, channeled wisdom. I have a wonderful membership community, Ignite Your Wings. It's tools for transformation. So we're all going through change and transformation. This is all the support and guidance and community that you can handle. And keep your eyes peeled if you do like the cards, as we've been talking about today. I am getting ready to launch a membership called Tarot Intuitively. Learn Tarot the fun way. There's going to be a 3 of Cups gathering in that is wine and tarot. You don't have to be a wine enthusiast to participate in this. You're going to get a lot. You just need to be a tarot enthusiast, but it's going to be a really cool experience. So check out my website, theblackfeatherintuitive.com. I got all sorts of delicious goodies in there. So I can't wait to see you there.
I'll just bring my tequila. All right, guys. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And we'll, just like Dwayne said, keep looking up, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.